All right, well, we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boxing Basics with the host, Tony the Tiger Lopez. I am Glenn Spillman, and welcome to the show. I want to let everyone know periodically throughout the show that they could, when they're coming on live, they could ask Tony any question that was relating to boxing, his life, anything like that. So go ahead. We got our producer, Dan Kentz, in the back, and he will be relaying the questions to us, and I will be asking the questions to Tony. So feel free at any time to type in those questions. Also, if you like the show or you don't like the show, hit that subscribe button anyway. Hit the bell so you guys get alerted to the upcoming videos that we have. And speaking of videos, we broke into some new stuff last Tuesday night. You want to care to elaborate on what we're doing at the Midtown Boxing and Fitness Gym?
Sure, yeah. Actually, it's really good. And I'm glad we did it. What we're doing now, we're going back to footwork and to the beginning of, because of me telling you and not really doing it or not doing it enough for you to learn off something, we actually got two young gentlemen right now that have zero boxing skills, and they actually did pretty good. And we're using them as our crash test dummies.
There you go. There you go.
That's the only way to say it. But you know, so we're using them. We're filming them guys, two guys that don't know what they're doing, and they're doing it for them just in case they're making the same mistakes you are, or because it's always easier to watch someone else do it. It's always easier training twos, because you can always look at your partner and see if he's doing it a little bit different from you or better than you or however, or maybe vice versa. You're doing it better than him. You'll always learn a little bit faster if there's more than one person. So that's it. I mean, you know, we're going to go back and start bringing them all the way up and catching them up into where we are today. You know,
yeah.
So.
And one kid, I forget his name. I'm bad with names. It takes me a long time to get with some names. But the one kid is actually in boxing class at another gym, and they weren't teaching him footwork at all. He came to you and he says, dude, they're not teaching me any footwork. So he's learning boxing, but he's not learning the basics.
Right. See, this is why we're doing what we're doing. I've gotten, I hear stories like that all the time. Guys never really teach them how to do defense. They teach you the basic, move your head. Okay, you know. Most fighters today don't know footwork. They couldn't tell you how to fight against the southpaw. They couldn't tell you all kinds of. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. The list just goes on. So I've been thinking about this for years. I really have. And you know, I think, man, one of these days I'm just gonna do it. And you know, I remember I was talking to you, or who in the heck was I talking to? And I said, let's go do this. Let's do this right.
Yeah, you called me up.
Yeah. And I just say, hey man, let's do it. Let's do it right, because I've been watching all these people. They got 1,400,000 people on their stuff, and the guy's teaching totally wrong. And I'm going, he's got 1,000,004 and he's wrong. I mean, he's not even close to being right. So don't tell me I can't say that he's wrong. I'm not going to give you his name, because that would be kind of cold-blooded. But you know, and that's only one of about maybe 4 or 5 that I looked at. And not one of them were doing it right. Some of the things that they're showing was okay. Most of it was wrong. And I'm going, maybe that's why boxing kind of sucks right now.
Right.
You know, bad trainers. I don't know. But let's get out there and let's see if we can help teach you to do it right.
So I know that you've been to a couple of gyms, and I met you at one of them. And there was a training session going on, and you were watching the footwork of the boxer who was standing a pretty wide stance. And what keeps you from, I know you don't want to bust some guy's balls, but what's keeping you from like maybe saying something? I mean, with your 48 years of experience, you're sitting there watching this whole thing go down wrong. What kind of keeps you from saying anything to these people?
Actually, because it's not my place. You know what I mean? You gotta respect other people's stuff. You know, I'm not gonna go in the gym and act like I know it all.
Right.
Because I don't. Okay. I don't know. I might. I really don't even know. Again, I've been doing this 48 years, nonstop. You know, so, but I don't want to act like I'm going to somebody's gym and taking over. I'm not doing that, no. Now, if a trainer asks me to help out, I will gladly help out. Anytime I'm asked, I'd help. But I'm not going to just do it. I want to feel like like, who are you? Get out of
Right.
here.
Is it hard? And you've already given me your answer, but is it hard not to say something? That you're sitting there going, and it's pretty blatant. The thing that you explained to me is pretty blatant of what's going on. Is it hard for you not to say something?
Sometimes. It is when I'm at fights. It's hard to not say something when you're watching fights, and some fighters are doing it kind of way wrong. And I'm going, okay, who's this trainer? And then you look in the corner, you're going, that guy needs a lesson. But again, I don't say nothing. I can think whatever I want.
Right, right.
It's not none of my business to say anything. You know what I mean? So keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. So what are you going to do when you get, and if inevitably it's going to happen, you're going to get people that are watching these videos that are local to Sacramento, and they call in or write in or email us or Facebook us, and they say, hey, Tony, I want to train with you like those two kids are training with you. How do we fit those people in that are wanting to train?
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about today. It's already started.
Okay.
It already started. So, without asking you guys, because it's not our gym, number
Right.
one. So, like I told the last person, you got to sign up with the gym. It's $75 a month, which is really reasonable. Mm-hmm. You have the gym hours, 24 hours a day. You have your own key. You can do your own thing. It's 24 hours a day. It's $75 a month. And every Tuesday when we walk in there, you can come do the class with us. And after the class, I'll obviously work a little bit more with you. But I would, if I was you, learn something that day. For the next week, practice it. The week after that, you learn something else. Now you practice that and your new stuff, and that's how you keep going. You don't ever stop practicing the first thing you have. You practice one, you go. You practice two, you go. You practice three, you go. But every day you practice all three or all
Right.
four, all five. Never stop practicing.
Right.
Eventually someday you're gonna catch the feeling of what it feels like to do right, and then you'll have it.
Right.
It's not really I call it a feeling. If it's right, I'm saying, yeah, you're doing it right. Can you feel it? Can you feel that? I'm asking you because you can feel your body do it right, and then when you're doing it wrong, you'll feel it that you're doing it wrong.
Right.
And then you'll know.
Right.
And then when you're in the gym, it's always easier to do it in the gym because it's wide open. There's other fighters. It's a mood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely an atmosphere in there. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, what are your message to the young kids or the older adults or anybody in between that are watching these videos and they're doing the footwork and they're doing the jabs and they're doing the this and the that? What is your message to them as far as getting more instruction from you because they're doing something wrong that they just can't get?
Again, I'm talking about the man with the camera knowledge. Phone in, call us, type online what your problems are. Maybe send us a little video of you doing what you're doing, so we can watch and critique it.
Let them know we'll split the email address and the link.
Okay. I guess we're going to split the email address and the link. Is that what you're saying? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So there it is. There. We'll put the email link in there. You can see it and email us some stuff. And if you have questions, got a little video to show us. We're going to watch them. We're going to answer every question we're going to answer every question. We're going to answer you if you bring us a video. We're going to watch every video. If you're doing it right, I'll let you know on the next show you're doing it right. If you're doing it wrong, I'll critique it. I'm not going to talk smack about you. We're going to critique you to help you learn. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's okay to make a mistake while you're learning. Hell, there's people that know what they're doing for 20 years and still make mistakes. You know what I mean? So even myself. So but that's what we're here for. We're here to help you do it right. So if you want to come into the gym, talk to the gym guys. It's $75 a month. Again, you can come to the class. You can work out with us in the class. Then for that next week, you work out in the gym every day, at any time that you want, 24 hours a day. I mean, you can't ask for nothing better than that.
No.
And that's a decent price. That's a really good price.
Yeah.
So that's That's a really good.
And you've got everything there that you could possibly need as far as equipment goes.
You have heavy bags, rings. You have everything that you need to train, and then after training, you have the dessert diner next door.
Yeah, if you want some pie.
That dessert diner.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I've eaten there a couple times.
Oh yeah, every Tuesday get me a slice of
right?
pie there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So no, it's great atmosphere. People aren't all in your business. You know, you can go in there, be on your own, or you can talk to people. I mean, there's really no trainers there at those times, and that gym is not really doesn't have trainers, and they have trainers there, but none of the trainers really want to mess with you unless you really want to fight. But they were always willing to help you if you have a question. I'm sure there's another trainer who will say, yeah, do it this way. And here's the thing. Just because I say move this way and not this way, or maybe another trainer has a little bit a better idea than how maybe you're making a little different mistake than I'm talking about. And because I haven't seen your video, and some other guy says, no, hey, try it this way. And it works for you. Guess what? Do it. Any little bit of advice anybody can give you, try it a couple thousand times. If it doesn't work after a couple thousand times of you trying it, throw it out. But remember, it's boxing, and you're not going to get it the very first time. You probably won't even get the first few hundred times or 1,000 times. But eventually, you'll get it. But once you got it, if it works, keep it. If it doesn't work, throw it out. You know, it's that simple.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, we've had some questions from inquiring minds, and one of them, and it was as recent as today, someone asked you the question, and I wanted you to answer it on air here. What is a life lesson or lessons that you have learned throughout your boxing career or throughout your life growing up?
Never really had one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Common sense, I guess.
Okay.
If common sense could be a life lesson, because no one really has it anymore. Yeah, it's true. I mean, common sense will take you a long ways. You know, I'm far from dumb. I got out of school. I graduated. I went to college for a year. But I wasn't really into studying. I passed my college classes, so hey. And but you know what? Like I said, if you let me sit there and watch you do it, I'll never learn it. You know, I might kind of remember how it goes somewhat, but if you let me do it, after about 3, 4, 5 times, I'll never forget it. You know, I'm one of them guys. I have to be. If I'm hands-on, I can do it. I was that guy that can walk into class. I passed a real estate test. I was a real estate agent back in the early 90s because I wanted something to do in between fights. And then, so that's the second hardest test to take in the state of California is a real estate test.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And I passed that. So, you know, just because you ain't a brainiac doesn't mean you're dumb.
Right.
You know, I'm still here because I have a lot of common sense. You know, common sense says, don't go that way. Go that way.
Right.
You know, and that's in all aspects of life. It doesn't not just in a fighting way or just if you're driving down the street, man, someone's taking me going that way. Well, maybe you should go that way for a reason. You know what I mean? To me, that's a little bit of common sense. You know, that might not be everybody's common sense, but that's mine, and I'm still here, so I guess it's working.
Right.
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 So yeah, I mean, I guess that would be it. You know, common sense. Use your brain. You know, don't. You know, life is easy. You know, I like to live my life like, look, man, when you wake up in the morning, it's a great day. Mm-hmm. I don't care how your day's going or how it's going to go. You already having a great day. So why are you mad? You know, and you say, well, why am I having a great day if my day is going really bad? You know how many people didn't wake up that morning? Your day's a lot better than their day. So to them, you're having a great day. Life is simple. Life is easy. Just, you know, people don't take it so serious, man. It's just, you know, I don't know. That's just how I am.
Right.
If I'm mad for a second, I'm over it. You know, if someone makes me mad, I punch him and I'm over it. No, for real.
That's all right.
Even when I'm fighting, I'm never mad. I may talk a lot of smack.
Right.
I may even look mad, but inside I'm calm. It's what I do. You know, I fight all the time. Not now, obviously, but
Right.
even now, you get someone to say something stupid to you, or they talking smack online to you, because everybody's a keyboard warrior.
Oh, exactly.
So and, or like if someone says something to me, if I'm down the street, or maybe I cut somebody off without seeing them. I wouldn't do that on purpose. But maybe I did it without seeing them. They come up next to me, they start, hey, but if they don't get it twisted, because they keep on. Pull over. I'll pull over. What, dude? I'm not mad. I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna come out. I'm talking smack. But inside, I'm calm. I'm as calm as I would be now. That's just how I am. My inner, I might be talking a lot of smack, but you know what? Inside, I'm calm.
Right.
I'm never really mad. When the bell rings, you know what to do. At least I do. So. And that's really what it's about. Boxing Basics with Tony the Tiger is this. You may not be that one fighter. You may not have the confidence to get out there. But I tell you what, as we go forward, and I will start teaching that here real soon, is defense. Because watch this. Once you get defense, and you never really lose it, you slip a little bit, but you never really lose it. We're talking about in the ring with another fighter, maybe even a younger fighter. He may start hitting you with once upon a time you were making a miss, and now because you're getting older, your time has passed, you're starting to get hit a little bit more now. But guess what? Even at that, now that's with another trained fighter. But you go on the street, the first thing they do is this. Their hand goes way back before they hit you. In boxing, your hand just goes here. You go here. You're not punching. You're not backing up from here. You're throwing punches like this. So you know how fast that is? The minute their hand flinches backwards, you're moving. You're already gone. You should be. And if you do it, as we move on with defense and combinations and sidestepping and how to block, parry, I'm going to show you all kinds of stuff. I'm going to show you stuff that's been in boxing for a million years that they don't even talk about no more because no one does it. It's just crazy how so much of the boxing techniques aren't even used anymore. Like basically what is footwork? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People walk around the ring on their foot, legs this far apart, can't punch, and they wonder why. Well, close your legs, dummy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Everybody has their way of training. Well, I'm a 3-time world champion. I must know something. So I don't see too many 3-time world champions going online and teaching you how to do it right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just want to get back. That's it.
Right. Now, in the big craze nowadays is MMA, and the UFC is obviously the apex of that craze. And one of the questions that is being asked, and I've asked a lot of MMA fighters, and I want to see if it's the exact same in boxing, is what is your thought and pattern on never leaving it to the judges? Now, and Dana White wants you to fight from bell to bell, and he wants you to go strong, he wants you to finish. That's his thing, he wants you to finish. Now, obviously, you can't finish every fight. Is that the same in boxing, where you want to go in, you want to finish the guy, or do you want to go in and just play with him a little bit, tag him out a little bit, and just win the fight? What are your thoughts on leaving it to the hands of the judges?
You know how many bad decisions I've heard? A lot. Would you want to leave your fight in the hands of the judges? No way. Every trainer wants you to knock, Dana White wants you to knock out everybody, wants you to be out there. Well, yeah, because you know why? It's good fights.
Right.
When you go in and you start mixing up, that's a good fight. But I don't care if you can fight or not. You start throwing blows, and you just say you both can't fight at all. But you get in and you start throwing blows, someone's going to get hit, and that's you're there to watch people get hit. And that's what they're doing. So you're having a great time. You're thinking, oh my goodness, this is great. Dana White's going back going, yeah, this is a great fight. All these people are in there. It means cha-ching for him.
Right.
But, even at your corner, if I have a fighter, if I say, hey, do this, do this, do this, I watch his films. You're not telling him you watch his film, but you're watching his films and you're going, hey, I know he does this, this, and this, but the 6th round he's going to do this, I want you to get rid of him. Because the less punishment your fighter takes, the longer he's going to last. Right. That's really what it's all about. So, yeah, if you can get in there, as a trainer, you get in there because you don't want your fighter to get hurt. The longer that fight goes, the more punishment your fighter takes. You want your fighter to take the less punishment as possible. You know, because as long as you're in there and the bell's ringing, you're going to get hit.
Right.
You know, every punch is going to hurt. So, you know, and for some fans or friends of boxers, yeah, go in there and knock him out. They want you to just because they want to see you knock him out.
Right.
You know? And so there's all kinds of different reasons, but the right reason is get in there and get him out. You know?
Okay.
Get rid of him. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Now we've talked about, and I've had a couple questions brought to me about Don King, and you've talked about Don King before a couple shows ago. But there's this one particular story I want you to talk about, and that was the story that you told me about Don King and the 2 different contracts, and that experience that you personally had with him, and then when Mike Tyson was in the other room. I guess I'll let you tell the story.
Well, I'll keep it short because we watch this. My dad was my manager, and I was 1993 or 4 or something like that. Don King called my dad, or his people called my dad and said, "Hey, Don King wants to sign a contract with Tony Lopez. You know, he wants to talk to you." So my dad calls me and says, "Hey, man, you want to fight for Don King?" Me, hell yeah. Yeah, because he's the one that's paying all the money.
Right.
And you know, and you hear all this stuff. Oh man, you ain't gonna get this. You ain't get your money. Oh, shut up. Okay, whatever. You know, I gotta watch. Believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. I'll explain half of what you see a little bit later, and that's the fact. But that's why I live by that. You know, if someone says, "Oh man," they said, "Shut up. Who cares?" You know. Anyways, so my dad said, "Let's go down to go see Don King." We go to Vegas. You go see us there for a few days. So let's say we get there. I don't know. Let's say it's Thursday or something, and we're gonna come back Monday or whatever it was. I don't remember anymore. It was '94, so or 3. So we go down there, and we're flying in. And we had, back in the day, you know, he's not an attorney anymore, but John Berger was my attorney. Was a really, really good attorney here in Sacramento. And so, you know, my dad called John because he was our attorney for all the fights and stuff, did all our contracts and stuff. So calls him up and says, "Hey," so they called me up and say, "Hey, we're going to go on this Thursday. We're going to stay till Sunday. We'll come home Sunday night." Okay, cool, fine, let's go. So we go down there. We're at Caesars in Las Vegas. We go to the King has like a 3 or 4 bedroom suite, huge.
Nice.
Probably bigger than my house. It was huge. And then, not that my house was big, but that thing was huge. And then, you know, I'll just skip a lot of the parts. Cause,
No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I want to skip some of the parts because, you know, to me, I like the guy. So we go in the rooms, kind of fill the people, and there's people walking around. It's crazy. And then Mike Tyson's in there. I'll tell you that story because that was for me. It was an experience. I mean, to Mike Tyson, it was probably nothing. That was, you know, after you win a title, you know, you get all this money, and you're
Right.
going, "What do I do with it?" I mean, I never had money prior to that. I mean, I was never broke.
Right.
I always had money, but I didn't have money like I had when I was winning title fights. So, you know, you go from chump change to a couple of bucks. You know, that's the difference. You know, you got chump change in your pocket, now you have a few bucks in your pocket. You go, "Oh, wow, okay," you know. So, but you know, and Mike Tyson's, you know, he's a heavyweight, and back then all the heavyweights made all the money. So back then we sat down. He had a big table, huge long table, and it was my dad, myself, and Virga on this side, and King was on the other side. And, you know, we're talking. He's he's joking around,
Right.
and he's talking smack, and he's being done. And so, you know, we're all laughing and we're talking. And then Mike Tyson's in the back, and he's buying something for $300,000 or something like that. And back then, $300,000 was a lot of money.
Right.
You know, it was like $700,000 or $800,000 now. You know, so you're going, and he's buying something online or on the phone or something. I don't know. And so they're talking back and forth, and you know, King and Tyson goes into the room to talk because we're getting ready to talk, and so you know. Tyson's going, "Hey man," well, it's King's telling me, "Hey man, you're never going to get a deal like that again." And at the time, you know, I had a presidential Rolex. I paid 50 racks for it, you know. So I'm
Right.
sitting there with my Rolex, I'm going, "Yeah," you know, trying to act like I'm tough and shit. Going, "Yeah, man," you know. So we're talking, and then and so you know, because you know when you back in them days, all the champions had all the.
Right.
So just I did too.
Right.
I still got a lot of it too. And anyways, I just don't wear it anymore. Anyways, so you know, they're yelling back and forth. King's like, man, you better buy that for $300,000. You're never going to pay for that price again. I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's buying a small home. Well, back then, a small home for $300,000 was probably about 2,500 square foot home.
Right.
You know, $300,000 in '94. That was a lot of money. You know, so you know, and then you know he's talking to Tyson. Tyson, okay, yeah, I'll buy. You know, so they're talking back and forth. Something. Well, shit, if we're talking in front of him, I can ask. You know, so I want to know what's he buying. Oh, you know, I'm sitting on, I'm kind of like, he goes, he's buying a watch. A what? A watch? $300,000? Oh, really? Hide mine. Chump change. You know, it was really, it was just a neat experience. It really was, you know, because all the stuff that was going on, the hoopla. And then, you know, so they entered their conversation. And so, you know, King's talking, you know, and he's joking. You know, we're joking the whole time. And he's literally, you know, King Glass, and all this stuff is going on, and so we're laughing, you know, we're having a good conversation, and all of a sudden he goes, he starts getting serious, you know, he just calms down. He goes, I forgot the question I was asked, that why he calmed down, and he just says, he looks at me straight in the eye and he goes, Mr. Lopez, you seem like a man about your business. I go, yes, sir. And he goes, you, my man, he goes, you're gonna make a lot of money in this business. I go, thank you. He goes, you're a very smart man. He's talking out, he's talking straight. Now he's no more he and ha and he's straight with me. And then he goes, so so we're talking, he's telling me how he goes, I'm gonna use fake stuff, fake numbers. So I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna pay you $5 to $10. He goes, there's 5 contracts for you. He goes, I've already signed them. He goes, you take them home to your room. He goes, you're here for a few days, take them to your room, read them, sign them. If you want, then we got a deal. If not, we're good. You know, we're friends. All right. So then, you know, we're talking, and then, well, there's this 5, because I had a 5-fight deal with him.
Right.
5 contracts here, 5 contracts here, and so I'm just sitting there, okay, because that's not my job. That's his job. I'll let John take care of that. We're talking contracts now, so let me back out. You know, I know my position. So John reaches over, starts to grab him, and fast and crap. He grabs him, he starts laughing. He goes, he goes, who's that? That's the attorney, John Virgo. Oh, attorney. He starts sliding these other 5 contracts out. And so I'm looking at him, I got this stupid smile on my face. I'm looking like, okay, you know, what was that? So I asked him, I go, what's that about? Oh, that's why he got serious, because he was still he and ha until then. And that's when I asked him, what was that about? You know, because I'm going, hey, dude, what was that about? You know, because he's sliding 5 back and pushing another 5 out. And then I'm going, and he goes, and then he got dead serious. And he goes, Mr. Lopez, that's when he says, Mr. Lopez, you're a man about your money. He goes, I can see you are a man about your money. You can make a lot of money in this business. He goes, want me to tell you why? And I go, why? He goes, because you brought an attorney. He goes, you know how many world champions sat in that same seat you are without an attorney? He goes, can you read the contract? I go, no, that's why I brought that guy. I can't read the contract. He goes, exactly. He goes, so what makes these other fighters think that they can read contracts? He goes, look, I'm in the business to make money. And I get it. And he's 100% right. You know, I mean, when you start a business and you go to work, do you expect to get paid? When you start a business, do you expect to make money? When you start a good business, do you expect to make a lot of money? Of course, on all of it.
Right.
And you're a liar if you say you're not, or you don't want to make money, because you're a liar. Why would you open a business? You know. So then, and so I've always thought that. You know, I've always felt that way. You know, that's why I've always been a business owner. When I grew up, I became a business owner instead of working for a business. If I ever worked for a business, because I have other intentions of opening a business, and I'm just learning the business. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how I do it. Anyways, so you know, he pulls back and they're talking. And I go, that's John Virgo, that's my attorney. And then he says that, and he goes, no, go ahead. He goes, go ahead and read it. He goes, read the contract. He goes, go ahead. He goes, nothing, it's 100% legal. He goes, there's nothing sneaky going on. Blah blah blah. He goes, take it. All right. So he takes it and he goes, John goes, can I read that other one? Oh yeah, here. It's 100% legal too. It's done by attorneys. Here, take that one too. Read them both. I don't care. Sign either one you want. Sign both of them if you want. He goes, I don't care. And so we're laughing. And so, he goes, so we're talking some more, and we just stop, and he goes, okay, well, let me know when you're done. Take your time. You got a few days here. Have a good time. You ain't paying for nothing. We got everything covered. You need cars. You need drivers. You need whatever you need. We have. Got you. Cool. First time, and this is 1994. I was a champion since '88. 1993 or 94, late 93 or 94. And so I'm sitting there going, I guess this is how a champion's supposed to feel. To where a guy tells you, your promoter, or to be promoter, or could be promoter, come to you and say, hey man, you're in Vegas, I invited you here, you pay for nothing. This is how championships work. Right. You go out and do whatever you want to do. Go to shows. You want a show? Call this guy. Call this number. Here's his number for everything that you're going to need. You want limos, you want food, you want whatever you want, it's here. Your driver will get it for you. So I'm going, okay, so I guess this is how champions are supposed to feel. Mm-hmm. This is how they're supposed to be treated. Because finally I got me a promoter, and all promoters are nice. Don't get it twisted. No one ever tells you you're doing how well you're doing, or they're never going to tell you, oh yeah, I made millions off you today. King's the one that says, hey man, thank you for that. I get it, because he owns the business. Mm-hmm. As the owner of the business, I had a few pro fights, and watch, I had a few pro fights here, but as the promoter, I got to put $100,000 to make sure the fighters get paid. Before I make a dime, I have to put that money in the bank, the fighters' money. Right. They're going to get paid no matter what. So so when King's having Mike Tyson and all these 3 or 4 world title fights on the same card, how many millions is he pulling out of his pocket before he makes one dime? Right. Nothing happens until he does his part. So after that, it's a hustle. And I learned that when I had my fights, it's a hustle. Man, I got to cover my butt. I got $100,000 already out of my pocket. I'm gonna lose if I don't make any money. Mm-hmm. So then you start selling tickets, and you start, So do you want a little ruckus sometimes at your weigh-ins? As long as ain't nobody hurt nobody, yeah, a little ruckus is okay. It attracts to the fight. Anything that you can do. So watch, and I get it. Because watch, everybody goes, oh yeah, but Don King, he walks in with a champion. If he loses, he walks out with the other guy. Don King? Because I asked him, Don King told me? He goes, how much is he worth to me anymore? Nothing. The champion's over there. The champion's worth money to me now. Because what people tend to forget is, like, if I have a champion and you're the other promoter, and I'm fighting your fighter, and your fighter beats my fighter, and I have the champion, guess what? His next 4 or 5, 6 fights, I'm that promoter. Or we're co-promoting, but I ain't letting go of that money. That's money to me. Why would I let him go? You beat my guy, I want a piece of that one. It's in the contract. They always have been. All these people talking smack, oh, he's a this and he's a that. Man, he might have done his stuff back in the day. But, if you bring your attorney, take an attorney with you. You don't know how to read a contract, bring an attorney. And I don't care how small the contract is. If it's a business contract, if it's something, I don't care. We mess up once in a while. And you know what? Even now, today, it just recently bit me. It ain't really bit me because I'm going to take them to court. I'm going to win anyways because it's common sense in the contract. And they did the wrong thing, so I'm taking that. But, mostly, you got to make sure certain things are in the contract before you sign it. If A ain't equal B, and D isn't your ultimate letter, then maybe you shouldn't sign that thing. And until you get an attorney to read it, you know what I mean? So yeah, and to me, I thought King taught me a lot. Because I was hanging out with him even after the fight. Not a lot, but right. Still listening to him, still talking to him, and you start, because when he walks in with a champ, and the champ loses, and the other guy's walking out, and he walks off with that guy. Well, guess what? You're the new champ. I still have 5 fights with you. Why wouldn't I walk out with you?
Right.
You didn't sign. You don't think you signed that contract to beat him and walk away. Remember, I still got 4, 5, 6 fights with you. You're my new moneymaker. Let's go.
All right.
Bottom line, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's called business. That's it. So all the people that are going, oh man, he's this, he's that, man, he's a businessman.
Right. Exactly.
I got it. I get it. I have no problem with it. Win, lose, or draw, if he's with me or not, I get it. Hey, thanks for the run, brother. He paid me every dime he said he was. Mm-hmm. And he paid me pretty damn good. So I'm definitely not mad at him.
So what was the difference between the 2 contracts? You said that there was 2 and he pulled one away. What was the difference between the 2?
The easiest way I could explain it is one that you fight for Don King and one you fight under Don King. The one you fight for Don King, you make your money. The whole $5 that I signed for, I got complete, plus training expenses. The other one, if you didn't read it right, you paid a lot, or you didn't pay anything; it just came out of your check. So when some fighters go, yeah, I signed for $2 million, but only ended up with $700,000 or something like that. Well, shit, did you see the train he walked into the ring with? He had 50 people on his tail. Well, someone's got to pay for that. Who's going to pay for it? Don't think King's going to pay for it, do you? I mean, come on, man. Don't be that dumb.
Right.
But you know how many fighters were? I mean, come on, man. Common sense. Common sense, which is gone. Should have told you that.
Right.
So there it is there.
Wow.
Crazy stories.
That's an awesome story. I mean, the Don King story is always a...
I love that dude, man. He taught me a lot. And I always defend him, because everybody's always talking smack about him. Everybody's got to say something. They don't know him. They think they know him. I heard he did. Well, dude, I fought for him for 5 times. I'll tell you what he does. I'm not hearing nothing. I'm telling you. Here's a lion, or here's a tiger. Hear me roar. So and it is what it is. I mean, man, let me tell you something. If he was still promoting, I'd be on his tailgate trying to get fights for him too. You know what I mean? I'd be raising fighters for him. Yeah, so even now I'm gonna start having some fights here pretty soon. We're thinking about it. We're working on it now, and a whole new we're going back to the old school way of fighting. And we're going to try to do a 2 years to a title fight.
Okay.
A big old tournament that I'm working with one of the casinos here locally.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes. I don't want to say too much.
Right.
If it doesn't go, then it doesn't go. But right now it seems like it might go. And and it's going to be 2 years to a title fight. We're going to work with some of the bigger promoters. And again, but we're going to be real. It is what it is, and we're only going to have fights where fighters want to fight and win titles. If they don't want to fight, they can kick rocks. I don't care.
Right.
If you're going to be on the card, you're going to fight, and you're going to fight hard. I'm not going to put, 25-0 versus 10-30.
Right.
I'm not doing that. They're going to be right there, and I'm gonna hook the fighters up with fighters and boxers. Never a boxer and boxer. You fall asleep during that fight. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to promoting fights than meets the eye. You get to make sure you have the right fights. If you perform and you perform well, it's a tournament. So if you perform and you perform well, one of the rules I'm trying to get it going with all the guys is, if you lose, bye. But let's just say you had a great fight, and that day, he was just a little bit better than you, and you lost a close decision. Okay, we might use you again. You could come back. So because if the winner keeps going, and if this guy loses, that guy keeps going. He's going to take his next step.
Right. It's
a tournament. So I'm not trying to raise fighters. I'm not trying to pad any fighter coming up. I'm not doing any of that. You want 2 years to a title, perform. If you can't perform, bye, Felicia.
Right.
And I want to change the way boxers are paid.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do. Kind of like MMA. And I really didn't know this too much, but it's kind of like MMA. Everybody's telling me because it's a great idea. Who did that? The MMA pay. It's a great idea. let's just use, I don't know, I'm not even really into how much 10 rounders make and what divisions, the weight divisions, because it changes by weight divisions.
Right.
So many weight divisions, and so many weight divisions make a little bit more money. So let's just use chump change. Let's say the two fighters, they're fighting 10 rounds, it's a 140-pound fight, and they're both making $1,000.
Okay.
So they're both going to make $1,000 no matter what. If you were an opponent, would you really train? You're making $1,000 anyway.
Right.
Why would you
win,
try-
lose, or draw? You
Win, lose, or draw, you're going to make $1,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down to $700 to the loser. The winner will make $1,300.
Okay.
So and again, I could care less who wins. I don't care. I'm looking for the end result. I'm looking for that one guy at the end of 2 years, that champ that wins the whole tournament.
Right.
That's the guy I'm looking for. So and if fighters want to do it, fine. If they don't, buy. And don't tell me no today and come back a year later and say, man, put me on your card. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna work like that. Fans are paying good money. Tickets are expensive nowadays. So if you pay $30 for a nose or $50 for a nosebleed seat, or you're paying $300 or $400 or $500 for a ringside, not at these fights, but
Right.
not the ones I'm having, but some of the bigger fights are thousands of dollars.
Right.
So the guy that's paying $30, that $30 to him means the same to that guy who's paying $1,000 for that ringside seat. Means the same. Just because he doesn't have that guy's money doesn't mean $30 means shit to him.
Exactly.
It's still a lot of money. So you know what? If you're not going to perform for all my fans or all the people that are there, then you can kick rocks too. We don't need you either.
Right.
It's that simple. And that's the way boxing should be. We need to bring back the real sport of boxing where referees, if you wobble, they don't go, okay, give you an 8 count. Oh,
Right.
man, they're not trained for that. They're trained to take punches and keep going. It's a fight. It's not basket weaving, and that's what we need to get back to. It's a great sport, just some people are better than others.
Right.
Now,
are there any fighters that you have on the radar that you'd be like, you know what, I'd like to have you, and you to be in this tournament? Are there anyone that you're looking at right now, or is this just going to be an open?
I honestly ain't got nobody in mind. I could care less. I don't care who wins. So it ain't gonna be like, oh, that's Tony's watching that guy. He's trying to. I ain't trying to raise no fighters. I could care less. I want fights. That's all. I want good fights. If you can't perform, kick rocks. Bye. You're done.
Right.
The fans are gonna tell me. We're going to do a lot of stuff. We're going to do a lot of internet stuff. I want to do a lot of stuff where the fans also get involved.
Right.
And I want to make it fun. I want to make it exciting.
Interactive.
I want to make it interactive. So there's a lot of stuff that we're still working on, but it looks like it might happen. So be prepared. And we're going to take fighters from all over the world.
Nice.
If we're already a year into it. Because we're going to start locally.
Right.
Obviously, we're going to start locally. And as it grows, we're going to start reaching out until one day, before this 2 years is over, we're reaching around the world. And we'll fly them in from China, wherever the hell they come from, is where they're going to come from.
Right.
We're looking for that end result, that champ of that tournament. That's who we're looking for.
All right. Any questions we have so far? No, nothing yet, eh? All right. Well, remember, if you guys like the show, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and tell your friends. You were talking about how boxing basics, if you will, and old school boxing has just kind of gone away. Talk about when you think it went away and why.
Boy, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one. Okay, but I'll be honest. Watch. I think it's gone about the way because it all started when people started training, and I believe it started around the time when people started training in the garage.
Okay.
Back when it first started, every 3 days a new gym to open up in the neighborhood. someone's training out of the garage, and so-and-so's training out of this garage. Hey, so-and-so's training out of this garage. Because back then, it was, let's say it was $20 a month, which is fairly cheap back then.
Right.
But that's what it was costing.
Right.
And the guy had a couple of heavy bags, a couple of speed bags, a couple of mirrors on the walls, a couple, places to jump rope and exercise. That's all you really need for amateurs, anyways.
Right.
And so, to me, it's like I put little Johnny in to go train the guy down the street's house. So little Johnny goes to his house and he starts training. It's costing me $20 a month, and I'm going, what's he really doing down there? So I'm going down there, and I'm looking around going, oh crap. This guy's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This guy's got 20 people in here. That's 20, 40, 60, 80. That's a lot of money, per month.
Right.
This guy's making money. And he might be, he doesn't need a job because he's making a lot of money.
Right.
That is his job, And the guy, and I don't know a lot about boxing. Let's say I just don't know a lot about boxing. I just let little Johnny go to the place to go train over there. And so I'm going, oh my God. So I started going as much as I could. Let's say I go like maybe 7 times, 8 times, 10 times a month.
Okay.
I'm going to go watch little Johnny train. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the coach train little Johnny. And I'm going, okay. After a few months, 6 months, maybe a year, I can do this. I'm going to do it too. So I go back to the house. I buy a couple bags. I put a few mirrors on the wall, put a couple speed bags up. Guess what? Buy a couple ropes, little bags, little bag gloves and stuff. Guess what? I got a gym. Hey, little Johnny, go tell your friends that we're having a gym at the house, man. Because, remember that Junior Olympic title you won last year? Man, they all want to train with you.
Okay.
So now me not knowing much, just from what I'm going to go watch little Johnny train, me not knowing anything really, come back and I can teach you how to throw a jab, and maybe a decent right hand, and maybe the forks, maybe not really great, but I can kind of teach you how to do some fork. I'm not telling nobody that, but that's what I'm thinking. But kids are resilient. People don't give kids enough credit. I remember when I was a kid, man. They even did it back then, but not as much. It wasn't their way of making a living, it's the kids are so resilient that they go into the ring not knowing much, but they will fight their hearts out. There's kids I see some kids that will not stop, and I'm going, oh my God, this kid's got so much determination to win. And you're looking at these kids and you're going, oh my, this is nuts. And you look at his skill level, it's 0 or less. And I'm going, oh my, if this kid knew what he was doing, he could, oh my, with the compassion he has to win in his heart, and he just doesn't have it, And guess what? All you need to make is one champion. If you don't make a champion for the first 3 years, that's okay. Kids are still going to come. Because they want to fight, and they want to win, and they want to learn. So guess what? They're going to keep coming because they have their friends there, and their other friends are there. So it's like a little meeting there with all the little neighborhood friends that are going to be training with you. But you still don't know anything. But guess what? After about 2 or 3 years, you're going to be surprised because one of these kids are going to be so determined that they're going to win a title. That one day you're going to make a Junior Olympic champion. One day you're going to make a Golden Glove champion. And one day you're gonna, because hopefully you get smarter as you're training,
right?
And so you start to train these kids a little differently. But remember, you still don't know the right things of boxing. But look at today. Like I tell people all the time, I go, Pac-Man would have never been Pac-Man back in the day. It would have never happened. He would have never got past Michael Carbajal at 119, or what was it, Michael Carbajal, 112, 119? He never got past Michael Carbajal. They called him a little Roberto Duran, hands of stone. That's what they called him. Guy knock out a giant. Because we knew how to fight southpaws. You don't right-handers don't move to the right, especially when you're fighting a southpaw, because you're moving right into the power hand. Why would you do that? That's just dumb. There's ways to fight southpaws, but guess what? No one's done it. Oh yeah, one guy's done it. And guess what? I couldn't see his feet at the time when he knocked Pacquiao out. But I bet you his lead foot was on the outside of Pacquiao's lead foot. I promise you that's where his foot was at. Now, there's got to be film of it somewhere, but that's where his foot was at. When he caught him with that right hand, it's because his lead leg was on the outside of Pacquiao's lead leg. That's why. Because guess why? It puts Pacquiao right in line for his power right hand. That's all they had to do. Keep moving to your left. You could throw a right hand. You can start a fight with a southpaw with a straight right hand. And 99.9% of the time, you're going to hit him. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
How many of them did it? You know? So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff in boxing basics that maybe in boxing intermediate, boxing advanced you can learn, but we're going to teach you all this. We're going to teach you how to do all that. We're going to teach you how to be, if you practice, if you go home and you practice every day for about an hour after you're taking the class, and you practice it and you try to perfect it, you even come to the gym. Or maybe you join the gym and you come to the class, and we'll help you as much as we can while we can. You know, you come and you join, and if you get better at it, guess what? You're going to get pretty damn good. And watch, when you learn some defense, when some guy throws 10 punches at you and you just made him miss 8 of those punches, dude, that's a little pep in your step.
Yeah.
You know? And when you learn to make combinations because you make them miss and then you make them pay, and you just made him miss 8 times, that means you just hit him 8 times when he hit you twice. You know? That's what boxing's all about. To hit and not be hit. No one's ever perfected it. No one ever will. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're going to perfect it. But you know what? It's better than getting punched at 10 times, getting hit 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And you know, and even when in boxing basics, even when you're training, as we go on, you might want to join the gym and join the class, because at some point in time, even if you're half pretty good or halfway decent, there's people in the gym of all entry levels. So, you know, to actually really know if it works, one day you're gonna have to spar. It is what it is, you know. And once you do it, once you know that you know everybody's there to help you and teach you, they're not there to beat you up, and they're not, you know, you don't walk in with a chip on your shoulder and you ain't gonna get beat up. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You walk in to learn, and you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna get hit, and sometimes you're gonna get hit hard, but you already know that when you walk into the gym, anyways. So you can put that on the back shelf and don't worry about it.
Right.
You know. And if you do get hit hard, I mean, they're not going to jump on you trying to knock you out. They don't do that.
Right.
Because with the beginners, we let everybody know that, let's say you walk into our class or you're taking our class and you're actually pretty good. And another beginner comes in, you have to work with them a little bit. But guess what? You're going to work with him a little bit because people have worked with you. And that's the way you teach boxing, you know? You don't try to beat people up. You try to go out there and actually teach them something, make them learn it, you know? So don't be afraid to come on in and join a class or join the gym and work on your skills, man. That's how you're going to learn, you know?
Right.
I can tell you till you're blue. I mean, you can tell me till I'm blue in the face on how to do something, but guess what? Unless you let me do it, I'm never going to get it.
Right.
You know, I'm that guy. You know, but once you teach me, I'll never forget it.
Right.
You know, if you let me do it.
Right.
You know, so that's it, in a nutshell.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, hit that subscribe button right there. Hit the bell. And in the link that Dan is putting in there in the comment section is going to be a link to our email address where you can email Tony all your questions, all your videos, anything that you want to know or show or get advice on. Just hit that link right there and it'll take you straight to the email address. So any last words?
I think you said them already.
All right.
What was that thing? How'd it go?
Subscribe,
Hit the subscribe button.
the like, and ring that bell.
Hit the like button, whatever, and ring that bell.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Something like that.
All right. Coolio.